Hello guys and girls of YouTube. I wonder whether girls are watching my videos, but you never know. Anyways, probably hello guys. Or guys is actually also not, you can use it as a neutral term. Not feminine or masculine, but just hey guys. This is the the epilogue video. So the dessert after the main course has been consumed, which was of course the playthrough. In this video, and maybe it will be two videos, it depends a bit on how quick I can run through it, but we will be mopping up a couple of collectibles that we missed. When I first started this playthrough, like 30 hours ago, I think I really made some 30 or 35 hours of material. I mentioned that I would be looking into a lot of nooks and crannies, not all of the nooks and crannies of the game, but I sure would pick up collectibles as I saw them. That went out of control a bit, because at one point in time I really got a little bit bugged when you missed a couple of ones. I did think that I went through the level quite thoroughly, so a couple of times I went back to replay a certain section to pick up any overlooked ones. So the latter part of the game, it's mainly all 100%, but in the beginning there are some levels that there were still there's still some collectibles lingering around, and to really be able to call it a 100% playthrough, I think I owe it to myself and to the viewers to also pick those up. So let's see. Let's go from the back. 100, 100, 100, movie, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, 100. Oh, our movie? Sorry, I was checking my mic. 100, 100, 100, movie, 187. So part 3 of Act 2. Part 2 of Act 2. Part 1 of Act 2. Movie. 100, 100, 100. Yeah, and this one. All the way at the beginning. So first part of Act 1. And I think the first 3 parts of Act 2. 1, 2, 3. Is what is still outstanding. And as you can see to the right of the screen, quantum ripples we all have, intel we all have. We still need 2 chronon sources, 2 documents and 2 media. So 6 collectibles in total. And maybe it's also a good idea just to to finish it off and to as a start of this mopping up video, just read through the parts and recall what we have been through or what we played through. So first, Riverport University experiment. Jack Joyce arrives at Riverport University to meet his best friend Paul Serene, who needs help from someone he can trust. Campus escape. A fracture in time has appeared. Jack and his brother William are pursued by armed Monarch troops as they attempt to escape. Library chase. Separated from his brother, Jack fights his way through the campus to find him and rescue him from Monarch goons. I still wonder how they got separated, but oh, whatever. Junction. Paul Serene has to choose whether Monarch adopts the brutal hardline tactics or the insidious PR approach. We did the PR approach. This is the live action scene, episode 1. When tasked, Monarch Solutions. When tasked with finding Jack's missing transport, Leon Burke starts to discover the truth behind Monarch's long-term plans. By the way, this one was called PR and Library Chase. I don't know whether I read out the title. I did for the first 2, but just for completeness sake. Part 1 of Act 2, Industrial Area. After his capture, Jack regains consciousness at the old Riverport Industrial Area. which is now run by Monarch Solutions. Part 2. Ground Zero. Jack is making his way towards the dry docks, where he plans to confront Paul Serene, his former best friend, now his worst enemy. Bradbury Swimming Pool. Jack and Beth Wilder arrive at the Bradbury swimming hall, where William has hidden something important. I'm just now thinking, how did Beth again knew that the machine was there? She got a notebook from her future self, and her future self indeed knew it was there, so it was probably mentioned in the notebook. Business. Faced with Jack's surrender, Serene has to choose whether to focus on his friendship with Jack or his plans for Monarch. I think I choose Monarch. Like the business approach, not the personal approach. Prisoner. As Liam laments his capture, Fiona gets Charlie involved in something way beyond his pay grade during the Monarch Gala. Research facility. After faking his surrender, Jack makes his way across Gull Island to kidnap Dr. Sophia Emerald, the scientist who can make the time machine work. Monarch Gala. Jack makes his way into the Monarch Mansion in order to locate Dr. Emerald. Hedge. Yeah, do we choose to trust... Serene has to choose whether to trust Hedge or Sophia. And we trusted Hedge. I think so, yes. And by the way, I read a bit on the internet. I think Fiona in the end she dies anyway, so that's not because of our choice. That's really unfortunate because she was very cool, but yeah, at least it was not due to our decision making. With his authority challenge, Dr. Emerald gone, and the fracture getting worse, Serene has to decide who to trust. Episode 3, live action scene, Deception. While Liam, Charlie and Fiona pursue the lifeboat protocol, Hedge makes moves of his own. Not sure what I mean with pursue the lifeboat protocol. Yeah, maybe they indeed want to get in on it. No, but Fiona doesn't have any personal egocentric motivations. I still not know for who Fiona was working. I will find that out hopefully. Charlie is simply doing everything that Fiona wants. He's in love. And Liam indeed I think wants to get on the lifeboat. Not for himself but for his family, his wife, his pregnant wife. By the way, we can just as well hit the nail on the head right now. Or I don't know if that's the correct saying. It's one saying. I'm just now googling Fiona. I didn't use Google at all during the playthrough to as a guide, so that is good. Fiona quantum break. Okay, here goes. I'm really curious actually. Affiliation, Monarch Solutions. Oh, by the way, another thing, in the all the way at the beginning I questioned whether Riverport was an actual town or like a fictional town. I think it's fictional. It does say here that Fiona resides in Riverport, Massachusetts, but if you Google Riverport, Massachusetts, you won't find a lot of real life results, so I guess it's fictional. Okay, Fiona Miller is a scientist in Monarch Solutions Chronon Research Department. She worked with Dr. Sophia Emerald and Henry Kim to create a permanent cure for the Chronon syndrome. During the events of October 16th, Fiona also worked with Beth Wilder to recapture William Joyce's countermeasure in the hopes of mending the fracture in the Meyer-Joyce field to prevent the end of time. One moment. yeah, that's about it. So I think she was indeed just a scientist. She wasn't working for an agency or anything, but she got word of the end of time, and somehow also leveled out with Beth. And I think she understood the graveness of the situation, and she took a stance against her employer, Paul Serene Monarch Solutions. And what it says here, Hedge makes moves of his own. That is of course him freeing Jack, who voluntarily let himself be captured, to go after Dr. Emerald. And Hedge of course wants to secretly also sabotage Paul's plans, because Hedge actually is a shifter who is seeking the end of time, not the avoidance of the end of time. But shifters can only fare well in a zero state environment, so the end of time where everything is zero state, there are no more chronoparticles moving around, is for him the ultimate observation, or the correct environment for him to thrive, or at least to not suffer. So Hedge is doing everything he can to further that own personal objective. That's why it says here, Hedge makes moves of his own. Port Donnelly Bridge. After being separated from Beth, Jack has to make his way across the heavily guarded Port Donnelly Bridge. I think on his way from Gull Island to Monarch headquarters. Preparing the time machine. With Dr. Emerald's reluctant help, or now maybe he wasn't on his way to Monarch headquarters. You see the bridge, by the way. You do see the tower there to the left of the bridge, just after the helicopter in the little picture there. But I think at this point in the game he doesn't know yet that the countermeasure is at Monarch headquarters. So I guess now, because this one goes on preparing the time machine that is in the swimming pool area, I guess Jack is heading to either the swimming pool area or to still get Sophia Emerald. Or did they already capture Sophia Emerald from Gull Island? Yeah, Dr. Emerald gone. That is indeed, they found, I think, Dr. Emerald. Somehow they got separated, but they are meeting up or whatever, and then they go to the swimming pool area where the second time machine is. With Dr. Emerald's reluctant help, Jack and Beth prepare William's original time machine for use. Now they go back in that time machine and come out in the same time machine but 6 years earlier. Using the time machine, Jack arrives to July 4th, 2010 in order to obtain William's countermeasure. Will's Workshop 2010. At William's workshop near the dry docks in 2010, Jack and Beth are preparing to grab the countermeasure so they can return to 2016 with it. Okay, we choose control here. You can, I think, choose go with it or control. It's about Paul Serene giving in to the symptoms of his Crohn's syndrome, or doing everything in his power to control his violent and erratic urges that come from that syndrome. As Paul Serene's Crohn's syndrome edges towards the point of no return, he has to choose whether to fight it or let go. And why, of course, is his Crohn's syndrome accelerating. That is because Hedge exploded the laboratory where his Cronin syndrome anti-medication was being stored, so he's not on a lot of medication anymore. He only had 1 vial left. And I think also with the fracture occurring, and also occurring in a way more rapidly fashion than they predicted before, that could also have, I guess, an influence on how his syndrome is deteriorating, and him morphing into a shifter, which will eventually happen without medication. The lifeboat protocol. As the lifeboat protocol is initiated and the end of time is imminent, hard decisions have to be made. This is the movie. Now thinking about what hard decisions. I know that in this movie Hedge shoots Charlie. We kill Liam, who is defending the CFR that Charlie wants to obtain and gets shot. Liam himself, we will kill him later and when we try to obtain the CFR. And I know that Liam's wife is in the lifeboat protocol, so that's good. And for the rest, the hard decisions, I'm shooting blank a bit over there. Oh yeah, I think that also in this movie, unfortunately, Dr. Amaral is killed. Monarch HQ. Now that he knows that Serene had the countermeasure all along, Jack arrives at the Monarch Tower to take it back at any cost. In 2010, while Beth and Jack try to obtain the countermeasure, Paul also appears. And I guess that he takes it at that moment. And then somehow Paul shoots Beth. And somehow, due to his chronon sensitivities, or the reason is not quite known, Jack is warped back without even stepping into a time machine, but on it in itself, he's warped back to 2016. And then he knows, oh damn, Paul has the countermeasures, I'm going to get it in his Monarch headquarters. Return to the university. Going back to the time of the university experiment, Jack races to save William before he's killed in the library demolition. And actually we know now that Jack was never killed. It only looked like he was killed because a lot of rocks fell what looked like on top of his head, but Jack was saved. He was pulled back, avoiding the rocks by the future Jack, who jumped in between. Final moments. Armed with the countermeasure, Jack and William attempt to fix the fracture and avert the end of time. And that seemed to work. There's one thing that I didn't really understand, and that is William and Jack, they go to the moment just before the time end of time will occur. That's actually on October 9th, I would say October 10th maybe, but yeah, apparently October 9th. That's a bit weird because here, for instance, here we are at October 10th. So he arrives here. and then he goes back a day. So maybe he goes to the time just after the machine bugged out at the university. Yeah, that's actually also true. Yeah, that's indeed just after that went, because then also William was still there, so he goes just after the experiment went wrong, the very first time travel test. He goes there and he saves him, and then they go back to, if he find them, they go back to the swimming pool time machine. There they go back in time or forward in time. I think forward in time to just when the end of time will occur. And that is also why in the very last sequence, when they are like just before the end of time, I think also that whole swimming pool area is a bit different than when they get there and go to that final moment in time. And that is maybe because in the in the other timeline people change stuff around there. What could be. But they go to the just before the end of time. They place the time the countermeasure in the some kind of apparatus that William already made for it back in 2010, I guess. And what I didn't understand, that's sorry, I was thinking a bit, is how did Paul know that would happen, that Will and that Jack would save Will, and that they would then go to the drive to the swimming pool. They would enter the time machine. They would just go just before the end of time to fix everything. And then all of a sudden, when they are at that moment, Paul arrives with his goons. And that is also noticed when Jack is still at Monarch headquarters to get the countermeasure. At that moment, Paul is leaving, and he also says to the lifeboat participants, he says, "Okay, guys, hope for the best. Unfortunately, I can now not join you. I have matters to take care of or something." And he leaves by helicopter. And I guess he already then knows about what Jack is going to do, which is going back in time and to the university, and then just before the end of time. Somehow he knew that he had to go to just before the end of time to the swimming pool time machine, where Jack and Will were planning to put the countermeasure in place and prevent the end of time. And I was like, how the hell could he know that? Because this is old Jack, so the one that's already went to the future, to the end of time, and then back to 1999, and then he waited 17 years, and now all the events are unfolding. So he didn't already relive that part. Like, for instance, the part between 1999 and 2016, he already lived that timeline once, because he went back in time. That's how he was able to make so much money, because he had like foreknowledge of a lot of big events, events in affecting mankind, like 9/11. He bought put options probably, like the housing crisis, like the internet bubble, Facebook. So he could make a lot of money because he already knew it. But as October 9th, 4 a.m., that is the moment he stepped into the machine, and he did the first test. He went to the end of time, he went back to 1999, blah blah blah. So everything after October 9th, 4 a.m. would be new for Paul. So how did he knew that Will and Jack were going back to the university to go to the time machine, and in that time machine, or not to the university, to the swimming pool. This is called the university, but this is only a part of what happens in that sequence. He goes back to the university, he saves Will, then they drive to the swimming pool, there they get into the time machine, go to the end of time. I think you also even see the time here, what it is. It's October 9th. No, 7 a.m. is not when the time fracture occurred, or the end of time occurs, because we live on until October 10th or something. So to what part they actually go, I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. They go somewhere and they want to put the countermeasure in place. That whole sequence should not be known for Paul over here when he is in Monarch headquarters. So yeah, I was confused. I read a little bit. Apparently one interpretation is that because of his deteriorating condition, with not using the medicine anymore against his Cronin syndrome, not being able to use his medicine because it was destroyed, he shifts in and out of different timelines, different realities, being everywhere and nowhere, or everywhere at the same time, or at different times. Just one big mess of chronicity or whatever, or synchronicity. It's all really he's everywhere and nowhere. He's really shifting through time, and that is what they say. Also, he got visions more and more, and probably becoming a shifter, maybe those visions intensified. That is how he saw where he had to go to try to stop Jack and Will from putting the countermeasure in place. So that is, of course, maybe a bit a thin explanation. On the other hand, I'm not sure whether another explanation is possible, whether there is any way for him to rationally be able to know what would happen between the time he stepped into the machine, Paul first, in that timeline where the time machine is, and what happens after that. I don't think so. So maybe they had to get a bit creative, like, yeah, he had time visions and he was seeing all kinds of realities all at once, so that's why he knew to go to the swimming pool just before the end of time occurred. Anyhow, a really long introduction anyway again, but still, it's not my first, but like, I think the final recap of the storyline. What an amazing story. I also read an article and saying, okay, that's actually there are a lot of time travel movies with plot holes, and that this story really has a good grasp on the concept of timeline with the closed loops, and its intricacies, and I think I agree. I still am a bit confused by some parts, but that's more like my mental limitations than I think the story. So yeah, super. Let's go and complete. You see to the right half, bottom right section of the screen, you see 98% game completion. Let's make that 100%, because otherwise I cannot call my videos 100% playthrough, and I would like to do that. And besides that, I simply also would like to 100% it myself. It's not only for the title of the video. Part 1. Here we... No, first check where... Okay, we have to get one there. And we have to get one there. Here we go. By the way, this is maybe a good time to save the video, because I'm not inclined to rethink all the stuff that I just did. Maybe you would like it if it would crash and be gone forever, because it's of course a lot of blabble, but yeah, I find it a waste if I lose it. So I am gonna save the video, 1 sec. And here we are, 1 moment. I have to take a sip of tea. And of course replenish the tea mug. 1 moment. Almost seems like I am in England drinking the amounts of tea I do. But I'm not. I'm on the other side of the English Channel. Okay. And then we are going to let free of our urge for a cigarette. Just as I let go on my, how do you say it? I succumb to my urge for collectibles. I succumb for my urge for a cigarette. I would love to say once in a while, but that would be lying, and yeah, there's no use in that. I succumb to that urge for a cigarette too often, quite often, so that's something that's on my to-do list to improve. Anyway, here we go.
The number one killer is time. It destroys us all. This is what you need to know. Time broke. A growing fracture leading to the end of time. We went after a device that could fix it. Things turned ugly. Paul Serene was there to stop us. He has superpowers.
Jack.
Him and me both. We failed.
Jack.
And of course, time travel was involved.
Jack.
Going too fast for you? Okay. What do you want to cover first? You tell me.
Let's start at the beginning. When you first arrived at Riverport University.
I came back home to see my best friend, Paul Serene. He wanted to show me what he'd been working on.
By the way, I'm letting the video play because it's nice.
My brother Will,
if you see it twice, maybe you
involved.
pick up on some stuff that you
Paul
missed.
said it was world-changing. He was right.
Whoa! Come on! Watch where you're going, man! Fuck off!
Get out of the road!
Asshole.
Riverport University. Here we are.
Hey, thanks for the ride.
No problem.
Well, man, it looks like such a long time ago. What I do remember...
You've been away for 6 years.
Paul and I had kept in touch, but, well, not so much.
How did it make you feel?
I was just happy to see Paul.
What I do remember is that the game ran like shit in the beginning. When I turned upscaling off, I only after like in the 5th video or so, I was turned it off to just to test, and I in the meantime also use different recording software, which is way better. This shadow play is way better than Win 10 DVR.
I guess I should go find Paul.
Also as regards, I think, quality of the picture and speed of the frames per second. Because I think the Win 10 DVR utilizes the CPU much, and that is not the strongest point in my PC nowadays. Anyhow, then it ran like shit in the beginning. Only in the middle I tested it to turn it off, and then it was actually quite good, and I kept it off. But now
I doubt he's out here.
It doesn't run.
Better head into the campus.
It doesn't run that bad. So now it's also off still. So that's a way more crispier scene. So actually the first, I'm also afraid that maybe nobody will watch the series. Besides my commentary, this is my first one, so I have to get better at it. But also because the screen quality, it's simply not that good in the first 4 parts of my playthrough, because I was using that Win DVR, which had a lot more artifacting, or less sharp graphics recordings, and B, I had upscaling turned on, and upscaling turned on simply means 720p, and it is then upscaled or whatever, but it's way more washed out, the screen. Now with it off, you actually have full HD, like 1080p, which does really make a noticeable difference. Okay, so that is what I wanted to say, that that it runs pretty well. I was afraid now that it would also be very jerky, but it's pretty okay. And the other thing I wanted to say is the guy in the taxi. I also commented on him in one of the parts, because he gets quite a big role for just a taxi driver. Like his car is being mentioned as standing at the swimming pool. If you walk out the university now after everything goes awry, and you see the time stops and you see everybody getting arrested by the Monarch guys, all the student witnesses, you also see Leon Burke grabbing that same taxi driver. He has like this yellow, really fluorescent shirt on, like to make him stand out a bit. So I was like, okay, that guy doesn't he? That's quite. If it was merely a taxi driver, I don't think they would go through all that effort to make mention of him on several parts of the game. And I just forgot about it because the story continued, blah blah blah. But I read a bit, and apparently, if you take in one of the junctions another choice, he actually plays a bit of a bigger role. I think he will be some kind of assistive NPC or assistive force for Jack. I'm not sure. I don't think his role will be huge, but I think he is mentioned by name, and his personality, like that he's a bit witty and stuff. So that is why he is figuring above average amount of times in the game than would be normal for simply really like a taxi driver who has no extra story at all. Anyways, we are going to hunt. We are not gonna read anything, everything again, so I think you will be glad for that. Let's see. It is after Sophia Emerald's seminar poster. I know where that is, and it's before Amy Monarch's timeline. Then I think I know where to look. I will show you.
Whoa.
Jack.
Just got to the campus. Where are you?
God, it's good to hear your voice. When you hit the courtyard, look right. You'll see this fancy modern physics building with the lights on. I'll meet you inside there. I am so looking forward to this, man.
You still haven't told me what this is.
I know. See you soon.
Why 4 a.m.? Why not wait till morning? Paul had always been a showman.
By the way, I find this really like this little height difference that in real life, and you weren't paying attention, you were just babbling with your fellow students, you really could break your ankle here. Yeah, I know it. Sometimes I pay attention to the small stuff, or quite a lot, but this is really one like before you have to hit the classes. That's a pity. Okay, Sophia Emerald's poster is here. So that's not the one we are looking for. We are looking something in between here and that sign over there, just to the left of the White House. There should be something, and I think I know, or it's maybe here. And otherwise I think it's a box here, but I already clicked that, I'm pretty sure. Then it would be this one, but
Protests seem like a lost cause. Maybe sympathize with the students.
maybe I restarted it and it didn't save or so. Maybe was it it? No, it was not. But then what is? Okay, we have to. Then it's probably that sign over there. What I often do is I read it. No, it's not this sign. But what I often do is I read it, but I read it, but then forgot to click the actual button. So let's see if it's this one, because this looks like a sign that I could have read, because you can just read it. And then not clicking the X. Let's click the X. Damn, it's not that one either. Okay, then it's well hidden. It's after Dr. Emerald's sign, and that is the one over here. Why do you have to reload it? Would it be this one? No, this is Amy Monarch's timeline. That is the one that we already got. Ah, is it this one? The radio, yeah, I think it is.
On the tail end of the night shift. How you doing, Riverport? Burning the midnight oil? Just waking up? Or you getting ready for bed? Or maybe you're asleep. I wouldn't blame you. Not a lot going down in downtown tonight. Unless you're at the Riverport University campus, where the protest against Monarch Solutions is still going on. You see, Monarch wants to knock down the old campus library and put up a brand new building. Protesters are saying that building's a part of our heritage, and we don't need Monarch gobbling up yet another bit of Riverport. Personally, I'm with the activists. I'm sure Monarch's new building would be big and shiny, but well, come on, who gives a shit? I love that old library, even if it is kind of falling apart. I like things with character. And Monarch, hell, they've got all the character of a brand new smartphone. Sure, call me a hipster, whatever. I just think you don't have to be a smug douchebag with organic sneakers and an ironic NASCAR cap to prefer a nice corner restaurant with personality to yet another Olive Garden, you know? Still, much as it pains me to say this, I think this is a done deal. Monarch's gonna take that library down tomorrow, no matter what we say. as well pack it up and go home and get ready for the next fight. Because you know, they aren't done with our town yet, right?
That sounds a bit ominous. They aren't done with our town yet.
Paul had always been hungry for success. Driven. He made it onto a lot of those top young professionals lists. And now he was coordinating some huge project at the university. It's a big deal for him.
Okay, it's in the hole here because the first one.
You made a long trip just to see a research project?
Well, really,
The first one is the computer at just in front where we come in. And
We're
it's
going upstairs to the project lab. How was the flight?
Paul Serene Focus article. This one, William Joyce clearance is in the computer just after the main entrance. This one is actually I think one of the first things you do when we get to the first floor. Or
first
third.
class. Thank you for that. It's a step up from our van trip to Utah.
I missed that van.
I'm guessing that Will's not meeting us.
He doesn't know we're here.
I knew Paul had asked my brother Will to consult on his project.
This is about the
Will
clearance.
was all the family I had, but he was difficult.
I still
Yo, Paul, you think you got enough space here?
Well, you know, us business types need somewhere
To
practice our
motivate yourself to go to the gym, Sportal Pet. I still don't know what it stands for, that name. I find it sounds like a very sporty insect or something. Hey, there goes the Sportal Pet, and it's like a caterpillar who goes really quickly. Okay, we already have that one. The Brain Explorers
I
inside
promise, what I'm about to show you is
the
far more
egg
exciting than
special boots.
That will be for me to decide.
Paul, shut the fuck up. I'm looking for my collectibles. Don't distract Jack. Will you? Won't you? That's the annoying thing I find of those collectibles, because I think I already
here,
went through
Jack.
it
Going up.
quite elaborately. Would this be it?
It's quite the facility you got here.
What can I say? I have a knack of milking money out of wealthy investors.
Ah, this is it, I think. Campus security, internship. I read this all, but I don't think I pressed it.
Protests against Monarch are going strong, I see.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised you didn't join in.
Monarch
That
Solutions.
kind of trouble was your
Shut
forte.
the
Well, it used to
fuck
be our
up.
forte. You're the one that sold out.
Oh, I don't know. Rich and successful isn't too bad. You should give it a try.
Meet Monarch spokesperson Martin Hatch in person. September 29th. You're about to graduate and looking for a next step. Your future start here. Monarch's employer report. We are actively new employees. Blah 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 blah. Attention, one period with Monarch's Martin Hatch to learn the many benefits
Hey,
of working for
Jack.
Monarch Solutions.
Over here. Come on.
Be a part of a bright future. Be a part of the Monarch family. Information technology, customer service, robotic engineering, chrono research, marketing, security enforcement, energy solutions. A wide variety of job opportunities. That's September 29th, and we are now at October 9th. Yeah, right. And that was it. That was the one I missed. So I think we can. I don't need to even trigger a cutscene anymore, don't you think? Do you think? Or we can just... Thank you very much. We are just going to go to another one. We are going to Act 2, Industrial Area. Or do you think...
Let's take the elevator, Jack.
Okay, I will, just to be sure, I will let the checkpoint come in.
There's more to this than you're letting on. Is it about my brother?
Still worry about him, huh?
If Will did something wrong, then...
Jack, I've been tight-lipped about this for a reason. This project we've been working on is going to change the entire world.
Why do I smell one of your long-winded presentations on the horizon?
I would never. Oh, look. A perfectly placed presentation to illustrate the project. Now, who put that?
Ah, screw it. I'm
There.
taking a chance. Let's do it. Worst thing is we have to run through it again, but I know exactly where they are now. 1, 2, 3.
Previously on Quantum Break.
Perfect place to hide something.
Let's talk about the dry dock incident. Monarch operatives transported you from the university to the Ground Zero operation at the shipyard.
Still upset about that, huh?
You were secured, unconscious.
Will?
Liam Burke went to retrieve you, and you were gone. How?
Sleepwalking.
Step away! Right now! You've 3 seconds till I pull,
Had better reflexes.
and you're a marksman.
We know Beth Wilder assisted you in some manner.
Then I'm guessing you know the rest.
No, because everybody who saw what you did next is now dead.
I didn't have a clue where I was or why. Never questioned it because it didn't feel real. Still waiting to wake up.
Yes, it remembered our collectibles, so that's good. We are going to find the collectible. We have a Chronosaurus. Monarch PR plan. Where was that again? Just got what apparently our all-night calls has given green to our... That's an email somewhere, a computer. It's just before that. But this is the section I actually had already replayed, I think, 6 times, a pretty big chunk, because my PC kept on crashing. And only after a while I decided to drain all the power of it, without it being connected, press the power button a while and then reset the BIOS. That helped out a bit. And I think also the fact that I'm now not anymore doing the recording more CPU intensive. If the sources are correct, and that's actually the case with Win 10 DVR, that it utilizes CPU more than NVIDIA Shadow Play, because it uses the obviously
The old industrial area. Why am I here?
It uses the NVIDIA card more. Anyway, since then it crashed a bit less, but I had to replay it very often, and to be honest, I never found it. So it might well go, we might well have to search for it a bit. By the way, these graffitis, they are all painted by Beth Wilder. There's now also a second Beth Wilder in the game, in this timeline.
Only way forward.
She is at the swimming pool with Will location, and because she cannot really get out in the open, she she tends to go out and do some graffiti left and right of future events, because she found it funny also a bit to see, if I remember correctly, the reaction of people when they notice something, and then they saw it, and then afterwards it actually happened. Okay, but there's nothing. Yeah, I really.
Oh,
checked.
That's weird.
Yeah. Okay. I really looked at this room pretty thoroughly, so.
Okay, doesn't last. Noted. When the fracture broke time, some objects became unstable. With my new abilities, I could manipulate their timelines, rewind them.
Still no word from
Yeah, I think it's in this room, and I think I know what it is.
Ready a chopper for me at the dry dock. I'm heading to the island.
Roger. We'll have the chopper.
Seeing Paul's face on that screen, it was some kind of sick reminder. I couldn't escape what had happened, what he did. I needed to know why, but part of me wanted to put a fucking bullet in his head before he could open his mouth.
Want us to send additional teams to search for Joyce?
Negative. Focus efforts in our PR campaign. Amy Ferrero's confession goes live in a matter of minutes.
What about Jack Joyce?
Once that confession hits the air, the whole city will be looking for him. He'll have nowhere to turn. He'll come to me tonight.
At the gala? You're sure?
Positive.
By the way, here in the down below you have Lenny Hakola. So you see, now I can read it. The first time around I really couldn't read it, and that was not because of my eyesight, which is not that good in itself, but that's simply because of the higher resolution and better recording software, or yeah, the higher resolution. With upscaling on, you could hardly read what it said. Anyhow, I know that if you press that computer, you see that flyer to the right of it. That will drop into the bin. Maybe it has something to do with that. On the other hand, I don't think it is, because I also read some quantum ripple that we already did find. It said like some guy lost his Monarch Gala invitation and blah blah blah. I don't know what happens then, but that was, I think, one of the ripple effects. And I assume actually that this is his invitation. But yeah, let's see. Okay, because it is after the ripple we miss, the collectible we miss is after this email. In the collectible screen here, and now it's supposed to be, it is in the bin indeed. So I maybe thought, can I now then pick it up or something, or we have to just simply press it again? No. Yeah, then I'm really lost, because I cannot get it. But it should be here. Do you see? Because this is the Monarch PR plan. Oh damn, it's before it. Because this is that ripple. A sudden change of evening plans. Here you can see it. The second effect, Haskins' invitation. Oh no. Senior broker, that's the description on top. Senior broker Haskins loses his gala invitation. Intentional, sabotage, accident. Haskins insults. Okay. So that was that invitation, and because of that his wife divorces him. So that is our bad. So would it again be this one that I read and didn't press? Am I that stupid? Amy Ferrero, sympathetic protest takes the blame for libraries, blame shifted to processors. Built up protest leader with criminal background, yeah, we already read this all. Push emphasis onto protest to focus question, monarch stop there, build witch hunt, public terrorists, find never arise at random food missing. Inside expected, someone's helping Jack Joyce. Wait, find threat containment, team leader, monarch, find Jack Joyce. Joyce transport, last seen entering ground zero perimeter, never arrived at rendezvous. Okay, because it was really a short while ago, and I was thinking, wow, that's pretty easy. Quickly they put it like into this printed out flyer, but actually they hastily scribbled it onto the flyer. Okay, but was that it? No, that was not it, so it's in the room before. But that's good to know, I'd say. Or is it that map? Yes, yes. Okay, we found the collectible, and now we are going... We have 100%. We are going to part 2. And there we are going to find the very first collectible. So it's really at the beginning of the game. And I think just for the sake of it, I'm just letting the intro movie play. So let's go. Go.
Previously on Quantum Break. I came back home to see my best friend, Paul Serene.
Jack Joyce. In the flesh.
He wanted to show me what he'd been working on. Paul said it was world-changing. 2 minutes to the past.
Jack. Will, you have to help me with this. We have to shut this thing down now. Zero state. What have we done?
Jack! There's no other way out. I'm going through the machine.
Paul, wait. No!
Jack! This way! Jack!
Are you Jack Joyce?
Where's my brother?
You might still be able to catch them.
Paul?
I'm sorry, Jack. I never wanted this. We can't risk any unwanted attention. Initialize a PR campaign. We need the city on our side.
Okay. The very first...
Jack?
Yeah.
I did some digging. This Chronon operation is harvesting some kind of fuel. It's used to power a device called the CFR. Ever heard of it?
CFR? No, what is it?
I'm not sure, but it looks like it's at the center of everything Monarch's doing. The thing they stole from the university, this operation, everything's linked to the CFR somehow.
What the hell is Paul up to?
Yeah, Paul.
Let's do this.
My sentiments exactly. Jack. Did I say just yeah, Paul? Was Paul in the broadcast, or did I say Paul while I had actually had to say Jack? I'm not sure. Whatever. Oh man, it's quite a big fight that's coming up. Just it would be nice if we are totally sure that Maybe we, by the way, don't even need to fight it. Maybe it's just the video broadcasting over here.
Perfect conditions for extraction, which led to
Here.
the Chronon harvesting operation you see
There.
today. All of Monarch's
Chronosaurus, yes, I think so. I just forgot to press that. Here we go.
Sophia Amaral.
Most notably, the Chronon
Monarch's
Field
resident Chronon
Regulator,
scientist.
or CFR, which
Well,
is
she
the
must know a
only
lot of the same
device
stuff Will
that
did.
can ensure stabilization
Only device
and
that can
regulation
regulate
of
mass quantities of
of these
chronon.
particles. When the time is right, the entire supply of Chronon containers will be transported from this location to the Monarch headquarters, where the CFR is located. Only authorized personnel are to handle the containers directly. Unique temporal anomalies become more frequent with closer proximity to the ground zero perimeter when entering the yellow zone. This yellow zone emits dense chronon pockets ripe for harvesting. The ground zero perimeter itself is never to be entered under any conditions. We refer to this area as the red zone, where time no longer flows in a consistent manner and shifts without warning. Many who have entered ground zero have never returned. We know that the fracture will occur on October 8, 2016. We hypothesize that from this point forward, chronon levels in ground zero will slowly deplete until time anomalies cease to occur. For this reason, all harvesting necessary for sustained use of the CFR must be complete before the fracture runs its course. For more information, please refer to your employee manual. Thank you for your time.
It says October 8th it would take place. By the way, she really doesn't look in the picture like she looks, for instance, in that picture. But October 8th, I think the fracture, it occurred on October 9th, right? We are also now on October 9th. Anyways, we did 100% completion, so that's good. So we are now at 99% overall game completion. We only have to go to the Bradbury swimming pool, and at the start, that is probably in the garden before we enter the building, we have there two, yeah, that's actually the only thing we still have to get, two chrono sources over there. So as last collectibles, and then we have 100% the game. So let's do that. A 1, a 2, and a 3.
Previously on Quantum Break. I came back home to see my best friend, Paul Serene.
Jack Joyce, in the flesh.
He wanted to show me what he'd been working on. Paul said it was world-changing. 2 minutes to the past.
Jack.
We just saw that, but I'm,
You have to help me with this.
curious
We have to shut this thing down now.
what the new edition will be, because we are one part further.
Jack!
There's no other way out. I'm going through the machine.
Paul, wait. No! Jack! This way! Jack!
Are you Jack Joyce?
Where's my brother?
You might still be able to catch them.
Paul?
I'm sorry, Jack. I never wanted this. We can't risk any unwanted attention. Initialize a PR campaign. We need the city on our side.
Such a cool story. By the way, the young Paul...
What led you to the swimming hall?
Oh, Will said there was something important in his briefcase. All I found was a key with Bradbury swimming hall on the chain. Only lead we had. I guess this is it.
This building's been shut down for years.
Perfect place to hide something you don't want found.
I think it's time you tell me what you know.
I know your brother built the one thing that can stop the fracture. I know we're meant to find it, and I know Monarch doesn't want us to.
And yet you're wearing their uniform.
I like the way their pants fit.
Yeah? I bet you like the paycheck, too.
Tried to create a cover to gather information. You've known about this for a few hours. I've been preparing for it for most of my life.
You weren't aware that William owned the place?
There's a lot I didn't know about Will.
We need to find your brother's countermeasure. And fast. Things
By
will
the-
get worse as the fracture progresses.
By the way, I was
Monarch will be
earlier
trying to look for things
theorizing how they came here, and how he knew
Jack,
that
you coming or what?
that Will's second workshop was here, and I thought that the future self of Beth put that in her notebook, like go there when in 2016 when you meet up with Jack Joyce. But I'm not sure whether she knows, because just now in the car he said like, yeah, Jack said, yeah, I found this key in Jack's workshop, his other workshop at the industrial complex, I think where we just were. I think so, at least. And then he said like, yeah, it said Bradbury swimming pool or swimming hole, so that would be their clue to go here. So maybe Beth doesn't know. At least she acted like it was new for her. And maybe that's also because the Beth from the future didn't clue in this Beth here when she visited her, when this Beth was really young. She didn't clue her in on all the details, just the major plot events. And probably she left out also this part, because she only gave her the necessary information. And that is probably also with the underlying theme of the game, is you cannot change the future, so details are not that relevant. You can maybe change a sequence here or there, but in the end it will all play out like it's supposed to play out. On the other hand, this does seem to be like a pretty major the plot point, in the sense of that they find here the location of the second time machine, which is instrumental to the whole story from here on further. So I wonder whether the Beth, the older Beth, who is by the way now also, is she here? No, she died in 2010. But yeah, I think maybe she should have mentioned it to her younger self, just to be sure. But yeah. Other thing I wanted to say before the car sequence started is just now in the intro movie, when we were on our way here, you see like when the test goes wrong, the young Paul, he is in the when he wants to go 5 minutes in the future, the machine crashes. He really quickly makes the decision like, oh no, there's no way out of here, I will just walk into the machine, while the machine was already showing signs of a breakup, of breaking down. I think that's maybe a bit over hastily decision. I think that if Paul would have shut the glass of the time machine, that maybe he could have gotten out that way. So that is a bit impulsive. But yeah, maybe he had the dollar signs in his eyes. He really wanted to test it, and he really believed in it, and yeah, he wasn't really clearly headed, so he just stepped into the machine. But yeah, that's something I noticed. That was like a 1 second decision, like, oh, you know what, this door, we cannot open it, I will go into this the breaking down machine, and probably it will work out all fine. But yeah, I'm not sure whether that was the smarter decision. Anyways, I think, yeah, on the other hand, I ran around a lot here. I don't think there are Chronon sources here outside, but oh yeah, there is one. Nice.
There's no way in over here.
So we have one there, and there should be another one somewhere here.
Jack, that key you got from Will's briefcase.
Yeah, but it doesn't work on you. I already tried the first time.
You got some better solution other than, you know, unlocking the door?
This is the car where Jack,
sorry, a lot going on,
and Will
gotta find another way in.
Arrive in not long before. This is really recent. They are here. but they are not inside because they stepped into the machine and they went to the end of time to put the countermeasure in place. That's why you don't see them. By the way, I'm saving the game just to be sure. One sec. And here we go. There should also maybe be a chronon source somewhere here. Okay, I don't see it. Another piece of graffiti from... oh, that's cool. You actually see her now. By the way, I think it's really cool to just replay the whole game. Maybe if I have time sometime, I'm gonna do that. Because you... Yeah, on the other hand, if you do it, you should do it quickly. Because then it's all still fresh in mind. Because then you really notice fun stuff. For instance, that the person you see hopping in and out there, she has like this hat on, this winter hat. And... that is, I think, the older Beth who was here at this location from 1999 till 2010, till she got shot in that timeline, and she was quite bored, so she made drawings, graffitis, and I'm now wondering whether that is, by the way, the countermeasure. Whether she could have known how the countermeasure looked, because it was, yeah, she knew how it looked. Because look at her. Where? Okay. Here, she's there. Yeah, she has like this hat on, and she is. Simply doing her artistic work.
Yes, Amy? What is it?
There were others taken from the university. Friends of mine. What happened to them?
Should be released by now. Monarch convinced them the same thing they convinced everybody else. That what Monarch did at the university was necessary to protect them from
Jack.
Yeah. Guessing your little video on the news helped with that. No offense.
Jesus. They have no idea what happened.
Okay, by the way, what I also find commendable of Remedy.
Why me?
What?
Is there...
I mean, they could have picked anybody. To lie for them? To make that confession? Why me?
Maybe Serene thought you looked like somebody people could trust. Maybe you're the right face for TV. Or maybe you just wanted to see you break.
That's also nice of replaying it. You'll hear like conversation you missed the first time around. And also there are a lot of, when you press like this vision, like just now when you saw Beth graffitiing, you have like this past sequences that pop up that you don't see if you don't use time vision. And I'm sure I missed a lot of those, like little conversations between peoples. Just filling in the background story a bit. So that's another reason. Oh yeah, what is commendable from Remedy is their minimal HUD also. If you look, the crosshair, it's like really minimal. It couldn't be really smaller, but it's also good it's not bigger, because other games they usually clutter the whole screen space with huge meters and colorful crosshairs, which totally distracts you from the actual game world, and yeah, lets you less appreciate the nice artwork they did. For instance here, beautiful work, which is now way more yeah, to be appreciated than when there would have been like a 1 inch square super hip flashy crosshair dynamically moving around in the middle of the screen. So if you have that big screen, the crosshair, that you have less, you don't have your full attention to the world itself. So they again did a great job. Maybe the power circles to the right, they could have maybe been a little bit less intrusive, but yeah. And I don't even think I put off HUD options. I don't even think they have them. So it is really how they intended the game to be played. And yeah, again, that is what really amazes me from a developer like Remedy. It's so simple, but so many developers tend to choose another route. Yeah, and that's just not my route. Remedy's route is my route. Thank you very much. And there should be another one. God damn it. Stupid. Stupid. I didn't even have to, I think, run downstairs, because these planks were actually only there when the time sequence returns to normal, so that was a bit of time wasting by me.
Hey, think I found a way in.
Ta-da! There it is. And I think we are at a monumental moment in this playthrough. We are at the 100% mark. Jack, looking around over Riverport in thoughts. 100%. Meh, game is over. I would love to play it again, but I think I also like to do the commentary, and I think actually not necessarily for an audience. It's also really nice to do it. Of course, I appreciate it super if guys like my playthrough, view and like my playthrough, but yeah, so I'm not doing it really for getting a lot of views or anything. But if I do like to do the commentary, so it makes more sense to just do another game, because nobody will watch me another 30 hours playing the same game, although I am compulsive enough for it to do it. Or not even compulsive. This game does have, because of its story, quite some replay value. Also with the separate junction moments where you can make a different choice, which pan out into different movie parts and a little bit adjusted gameplay moments. So yeah, it would be fun. Maybe I could do it, but then the problem is I'm a bit all or nothing guy. Like, either I read everything or I don't read anything at all. And if I would go a second time, maybe I don't need to read it. It's more to get a grip on the story better, to play around more, be more creative with your powers, because now I'm pretty accustomed to them. So it's less of a novelty, and to also indeed overhear conversations that you may have missed, and yeah, let the story sink in even better. Because although I've been playing it for like 35 hours, I still have the idea that I'm not fully grasping the story. Probably I also won't. Probably there are sections that I simply don't understand totally correctly yet. So yeah, but what I said, I also have to be honest, if you replay it, then maybe it's better to do it not too long after the first time, because then a lot of stuff indeed is still fresh in mind. And you will appreciate things more that you missed the first time around. So if I don't do it now, and probably I won't do it now, because I think Sherlock Holmes is on my to-do list, then chances are that I won't do it ever. But yeah, never say never. Anyways, this was it. 100% game completion. Also quite some attention for everything the game threw at you story-wise, in the sense of emails and stuff. I mean, we got them all. I said it before, but I will repeat it. I hope you had a good time. I had a terrific time. It was so much fun making it and playing it. Actually really more fun than just playing it without commenting. I'm not sure how I played games before without commenting. I played like 15 or 20 years of my life games without commenting, which is also really nice. It's like this solo experience and you're really into the game. But talking about it somehow, even if the viewers are not there with you, so you're talking into space, of course. So you're not getting any direct feedback unless you go stream it live. But yeah, that's maybe for the future, not now. But still, it really it's nice to have if you have a cool moment that you share it. Like oh man, other people also can see this and hopefully appreciate the awesomeness of that single headshot or that dramatic plot twist or whatever as I do. So yeah, super fun. Let's get on with the next game. There will be more content from my side, so if you liked it, please subscribe. And I also said it earlier in the game, I never thought I would say that sentence, please subscribe, because I had my reservations on saying it. I mean, people know how YouTube works. They can make their own mind up whether or not to subscribe. But yeah, you never know. Maybe some new viewers do not know what the subscribe button is for. So yeah, it's I say it once in a while. And if you subscribe, yeah, then you will be, I guess, notified on new content, which will be coming. And also, then I'm gonna put this one in as well. If you like the playthrough, leave a like. That is of course also good with regards to, I think, the algorithm of YouTube. For then it will maybe pop up a bit higher in the search results. Because if I now search on Quantum Break, my video is maybe like on the 123rd page of results or something. So maybe a bit more likes or some likes will help with that. So that will be appreciated. Guys, I'm closing off like this playthrough. Looking forward to the next one. Looking forward to having you guys as viewers. And yeah, I'm always, when I'm saying this, thinking about nice creative ways to give a twist on it. So I don't have a lot of inspiration now, so let's make this sentence and the one before it the creative twist on it. On my default goodbye sentence, which is keep on gaming, guys.